one Larry.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Big Idea Podcast. We've got a very special show this week. A fellow music lover from Texas, Chris Wied, has joined us. And Chris, it's a pleasure to have you, sir. Man, great looking over your right shoulder and seeing a Martin and a Taylor acoustic guitar. Every musician's they'll perk right up when they see it. So, Chris, tell us about yourself, what you do, how you do it, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, first of all, as the kids say from Texas, howdy.
Howdy.
Thank you for having me here on the show. I am a veteran of the retail automobile business back in the early 90s that got me in the banking side of the world, and then tuned me into indirect lending after I had my retail experience. And we started Wied Auto Finance Solutions in 2008. And so we've been going a while, 17 years. And what we do is we are an independent agency that provides aftermarket products for the franchise and independent and RV and marine dealers. Although we're deeper in the automobile side than we are in anything else. But basically what we've done is we have a partner. We have a lending partner that we use as our door opener that gets us in to be able to go in and sit down and have discovery questions and whatnot and figure out where we can find a product. For me, what's worked well for us is that we have been able to just drill down and find out where they might have a hole. And my deal is not to go in and disturb what the dealer's doing, but to find out how I can plug and put something in play that he doesn't have already. You tend to be able to get that handled a little bit better instead of trying to take something away from somebody and trying to handle it. So I have 7 agents that work with the agency. They all have a market. They call on the stores and the markets in that area with our programs. And we have pretty much everything from identity theft to you just name it. If it's available in the aftermarket area in the F&I office, we provide it. And if I don't have it and somebody wants it, I'll find it.
Now, you said different areas. Are you throughout the country? Where do you provide your services?
We primarily can do it anywhere, but we were primarily in Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Arkansas, and Louisiana. So we have representation in those 5 states.
Chris, you mentioned your lead source in being the banking industry. Is that something you're relying on and they pass along the rooftops to your agents? Just give me a kind of feel on how you don't have to go into too much detail, but
Right.
but kind of how it works, because yours is unique.
Well, we have a very unique position with a lender that we've now been with for 13 years. And basically, we have gone out and signed up automobile dealers for them to use their program. And we have about 600 dealerships in those 5 states that we do business with. And they basically use the indirect lending product. And then we are just paid a commission on every loan that we help generate. And we generate somewhere between 12 and 1,400 loans a month right now for that company. So that's a pretty handsome amount of money we get paid. And then we've got other products that we obviously take in and plug in alongside that. So for that being, there's a multiple of things that we can do. I mean, we can do the gap, we can do the tire and the wheel, we can do all the stuff that all the other agencies are doing. But we specifically have some products I think that Gary will probably talk about here in a minute that we offer that might be unique. And Gary's been very helpful with me in opening the door for some products for me. We've kind of really helped one another over the last, I don't know, 2-3 years now, Gary? I don't know how long it's been.
I'm thinking a little bit longer. I mean, it was definitely, I reached out to you, it was during COVID.
Yeah.
And so we were both, I think that was, we were both wondering what the hell is going to happen.
Yeah.
And it was very impressive what global lending did do over COVID. I mean, this was a lender that they, as soon as all this happened, they pushed everybody home and they set them all up where they can handle deals from home.
Right.
And boy, because as Chris and I can go back many years, and we've had plenty of conversations of the good and the bad, and then sometimes the ugly. And being in positions that we sit in as agents, is everyone thinks that we live the life of Riley, but they never see what happens behind closed doors, and behind scenes. So
Right.
I admired Chris because I reached out to him, and I've learned a lot from Chris, and I do enjoy our relationship, and so I'm thrilled to have him on the show today. 2026. I think that the dealer body wants to get back to making money in F&I, and they're tired of the liars, they're tired of the thieves, they're tired of all the goofy stuff, and they just want to sell good products. So Chris, we've been selling service contracts for a long time. What are you seeing right now that is really important to the dealer, that they need help and they want to help, and that they're actually listening? What are you seeing right now?
Well, it's a good question that you asked there. You were talking about mentioned things earlier, the good, bad, and the ugly. Well, the dealers have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. They've seen a lot of people come and go, especially in the product industry, especially in the VSC market.
Absolutely.
And there's constant change in that. There's constant change in administrators. There's rate changes. There's companies going out of business. There's people that have the cheap prices and don't pay the claims. I mean, all of that's there. What we see happening is two things. Let me back up a second before the VSC. I really do believe we're going to see an insurgence of our business, of the automobile industry in 26. And the reason we are is because all those cars that were bought in 2020 during COVID, that's 72 months ago.
Yeah.
Those cars are going to be coming up.
Yep.
People replace those cars. I think we're going to see an insurgent from the business that we had from 20 and 21. It's going to happen. The thing that we look for, one of the things that I think the dealers are looking for, is that when you go in and have an analysis with the dealer and talk about what you're doing with your vehicle service contracts. Well, all our dealers are in the reinsurance world. Well, we all know the reinsurance world and what it can do. But what we really like to refer to is we like to be in the self-insured world. So we actually offer a program to our dealers to where they can actually build their own vehicle service contract. They hold the money, they pay the claims, they have all the control, whereas they don't have in reinsurance. And DOWC is a company we do that through. And that actually was founded by a gentleman that came from JM&A, that learned the reinsurance business and learned what he didn't want to do in the reinsurance business. What we're seeing and what we're marketing and how we're basically working is going in the store and having a conversation about what they're doing outside their reinsurance. So what do typically reinsurance is, they'll go to 60,000. Then after 60,000 miles on a 5 or 6 year old unit, they start doing a 2 year or 3 year old term. Well, part of the problem with that is that the lenders want at least half the term. And if these lenders are going to 72 and 75 and 84 months, a 24-month contract doesn't work. So to be able there and go in there and offer them a 5 year, 125,000 mile contract back 10 years, back to a 10-year-old car with less than 125,000 miles is a big piece. And it's a piece that gives them a place to sell, covers the customer, protects the customer. And the idea is for the customer to come back to that service department, because we all know that's why BSCs were created.
Right.
Bring the customer back to the dealership. So what I see is that chains are going to be taking a bigger look at their VSCs and where their positions are with their reinsurance companies. The DOWCs are the dealer-owned warranty companies. There's a couple other people that are duplicating it out there. DOC is only the one that truly has it. But they're going to be looking at that, and they're going to start weighing that against their reinsurance companies. And they're going to see that, wow, have they really been paying a lot of money, a lot of administration fees, and a lot of costs and stuff that they don't need to incur anymore. So I think that's the big thing that's that's going to start happening, because you've mentioned the dealers are tired of the games. They're tired of the funny business. They want the real business. They want the real returns. They want the profits.
Yeah. That's you nailed it. Because they're keeping older cars, and and the customer, the average car is 13.2 years on the road, and if they want to start capturing it, they've got to create their own environment, and with a warranty program, it's just that I agree is that your service drive, your CRM is right there, and you focus on what you have already coming through and having some very simple products that do what they say and say what they do. It's a winner. I see that finally. Yeah, it's 6 years of no one making money, and now they want to acquire vehicles in the service drain. They want to offer service contracts. I mean, that's another thing that I want to talk to you about is that, the F&I office for so many years, we built them up to control everything. And now they got way, way too much control because nobody in the dealership wants to talk about any of this stuff because they're afraid of the F&I manager or the owner. It's opening up that service lane and starting to offer some real benefits to customers that claims are going to be paid on. It's not more. You're not trying. You want the customer. You want to pay claims.
Right.
Hey, Garrett, but think about what a horrible job as a body dealerships do, or else you can't turn on your television without seeing every other commercial is somebody trying to sell an extended warranty.
Yeah.
I bet you all get 3 calls a day about extending your warranty. This should be a market we have locked, considering that the length of ownership has been so extended.
Yeah. The OEMs had them on that 3 or 4 year cycle drip, and now it's a 10-year. It's a 10-year purchase. I mean, when cars are $50,000, you better start teaching them how to protect their own vehicles with service contracts and everything else.
There's still a lot of profit and a lot of wisdom in setting up service contracts with disappearing zero deductibles when you come back to our store.
All day long. Plus a car wash. Chris, how you making out with the product that we're using, Gather? Have you made any inroads with dealers about the little chipmunk?
We actually have done relatively well with that. We are working with a very large group right now, a 45 store group right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually independents.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Stores nationwide. But we're working with them. We were able to put Gather in a 9-man group locally here in Weatherford, Texas. So
wonderful. Congratulations.
They didn't take the kiosk, so I'm not really sure what good it's going to do them, but at least they can say they have it, right?
The regulators will leave those kind of dealers alone because they're trying. The regulators, and for anybody who's watching, let me just clarify. Gather Technology is a product that both Chris and I market, and it's a very simple product, but it is tremendous impact. It verifies the identity of the customer, and it verifies the customer's auto insurance. And then even more, if the customer doesn't have auto insurance and they need it, Gather has a product to help. So it's just a very simple thing, but I can make it clear on here. The FTC red flags rule is that every dealership, whether it's new or used, must verify the identity of the customer. It's the law. It's the rule. That's why it's called the red flags rule.
Right.
Now, to complement that even more is we have the safeguard rules that dealers are just ignoring. PII is personal, identifiable information that dealers need to have in secure databases. Gather technology allows this all to happen with a click, 3 clicks, a selfie, a picture of a driver's license, a picture of an insurance card, and you start that deal, and then you won't have fraud, because if it is fraud, it'll pick up there, or the people will really look for a reason to leave the dealership. So I'm a believer in Gather, and boy, for such a simple thing, it really does what it's supposed to be. Gus does the work. So very, very cool. I have not had a dealer that I've signed up yet, but there's definitely dealers that know that when they build their new funnel, they need to have that in the funnel.
Well, I'll add a couple of things that you said, and what's even easier, since the system works through Clear, and we all know Clear through that they use at the airport when you fly.
Right,
Clear,
right.
They actually do the verification through Clear, and I thought Clear was just for airports, but I looked them up, and my gosh, they're a huge company. They've got verifications everywhere. But it's very important, and the thing about it is that part of, I guess, the issue that I'm having with it is understanding why every dealer in the world wouldn't have it to protect themselves, because it's cheap. It's less than $3 a customer.
Yeah.
It's because their brains don't function, Chris.
Yeah.
It's the same reason why every dealer doesn't insist their salespeople do a service walk, so they realize there's a building behind the building, and that doesn't even cost $3.
Right. Yeah. Well, I don't know if y'all have shared this on the podcast before, but we actually had 2 incidents where a Gather saved 2 Range Rovers at a Range Rover store in Fort Worth, Texas.
Ooh.
And there were people in there acting as if they were someone else, and they were caught in the store, and the police came to the store and were able to arrest them at the store. They didn't leave their cars.
Well, the first one, that's another one.
Yeah.
What's the group in Texas that they're in?
Autobahn.
Autobahn. Right. They caught a woman who was pretending to be like a nurse, and they caught her. That made it to Automotive News. And she went to their BMW store, and she went to the other, and they caught her right involved with, she was just as we did. Yeah, we had Ken Luna. Ken Luna's been on twice, and Ken was telling us all about that. Yeah, the Autobahn was the first store. It works.
Right.
I mean, you don't want to hear. Well, that's the worst phone call any dealer wants to hear, that their vehicle, a brand new vehicle, was stolen.
But their insurance provider didn't want to hear it either, because he neglected to spend $3 on that customer.
Ooh,
right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, protect yourself. I mean, I guess you can be overinsured in some places, but Larry, you've been around this a very long time, and I was reading some of your bio and stuff. You've seen all parts of it, being around the dealership world as long as you've been around it. You can't explain sometimes why people aren't using the tools that are out there. And
Chris, it's because, unlike me, they're not a fan of our greatest American, Ben Franklin, who said an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Amen. Couldn't say it better. It needs to be running. We're a little tagline running across the video right here saying that, because that is the fact.
Do it right the first time. We talk about it. We talk about it. Dealers that want to empower themselves, they've got plenty of opportunity right now, and it's just finally bringing all the people in, sitting down, and saying we're a service environment, and we need to service our customers and their standards in our organization. As Mike does a wonderful job with talking about mission, vision, and value. I mean, if you're in a car dealership and you're selling cars and you don't know what the dealer's mission, vision, and value is, well, now you're not building any value. You're not building a community. And, dealers today need to stop being like, we're just selling cars. They have to be a community leader. And, the dealers that, do and give back. And just before I saw it, I always talk about this dealer in my market, Gary Rome, Hyundai. He just got an award. I guess there's a community where they want young men to have suits so they can go in and interview and get jobs. And he's a big proponent, and they had a fundraiser, and he was involved with that. And those are the dealers today. Get their children involved, get their families involved, because otherwise they're going to get swallowed up by these big groups. And the local communities don't win when a big group comes in and buys the dealer group, the local hometown dealer group. They lose. And the third legacy, or the third or fourth family generation, need to realize that technology is what the local community wants, and give it to them and empower their salespeople, and let them build their own brand. It's easy to do today. We're seeing it.
Well, it's amazing you talk about that, because I've never seen the changing that's taking place in the sale of automobile dealerships right now across the country. Larry, I'm sure you're seeing this too. But man, it's just like every time, we get 2 or 3 phone calls a week where our group of stores that we do business with in these states they've got a new owner.
I've been doing business with an incredible gentleman named Eddie Campbell, from a Chrysler Dodge Jeep in Dallas, Forest Lane, and they were just bought out by the Walt Massey Group, and Lithy and Audio Nation. They're swallowing them up like it's nobody's business.
Yes. Is that Forest Lane CDJR?
Yeah.
Sure. Yep.
Chris, I got a question for you. I'm learning a whole bunch of stuff, and I keep on hearing the word preload as far as F&I products go. And Gary's been invaluable in teaching me, what it's all about. Can you kind of point to something as far as a preload that it makes sense? In other words, a lead magnet or closing a sale that a sales guy would be able to offer their customer before they get to F&I?
I don't know that I have anything off the top of my head on that, Mike. I would tell you that there are a lot of add-on stuff out there, giveaway stuff on there. Vero's got a credit protection program out there that if the dealer puts it in his store, all of his employees are automatically covered for free. Now
there you go.
He sells it, but he gives it away. He does a 1, 2, or 3 year thing to all of his customers, and he's able to advertise that. Lifetime powertrain, which, I'm not a huge fan of those. And the reason I'm not is because there's a lot of fine print that you have to really read and understand those. There's a lot of different things like that out there. I've never worked that much in the preload area. We just pretty much work in the VSC market and the product market, and most of the stuff we have preload. Some of the stuff we have issues with. We have one provider that provides us a maintenance program with a VSC. So we have to be careful how we do that, because typically speaking, a maintenance program is a front end load product, and a service contract's a back end load. So they are able to.
Yes, we're right back where we started the podcast. We're back to transparency.
Exactly. And that goes back all of what we've been saying all along, and along with what Gary's saying is about they're tired of the BS. So is the world, right? They're demanding transparency. Everyone wants transparency in everything we do.
Right.
And that's the coolest thing about it is I spent 20 years as a life insurance, a financial planner with Northwestern Mutual Life before I got in the auto industry. And, the thing about it is that I've never represented anything that I had to apologize that I was selling, and I don't plan on ever doing that. And I vet the products that I use. Sometimes, I've been snookered a couple of times, but most of the time, most of the stuff that we've done business with, we've had long term. So,
Chris, thank you for joining us today. I'd love to get a thought of, I know you gave us a little bit earlier, but your vision going into 2026. Can you share a little inspiration for what you're seeing for people to be motivated about being in the car industry and what you see on the future?
Okay. As I mentioned earlier, I think one of the things we're going to be seeing the 60, 66, 72 month contracts coming to an end. People have not been, the rates are starting to drop a little bit. The rates were a little high for a while. That was keeping people from trading out too. But I think that's something that we're going to see changing. I think if we continue to have I was reading something today about a little bit of decline in the labor force and whatnot, might help reduce some rates again. We might be looking for another rate reduction in December or January. But what I see from our standpoint from the car business is that, I don't think it matters how many people walk in your door. I think it matters how good you are at selling what you sell, creating a relationship. I give an encouraging piece and something for free. And Larry, I don't know what you teach when you're training and stuff that you do, but I learned very early on that there was a credit application, and on the credit application, there was there were two blanks on there. And it asked for references. I thought, okay, well, who are they going to go show the car to first? The two references.
Chris, what I preach
Yeah.
constantly, other than that they're running their own business within somebody else's with no debt service, is prospecting.
Absolutely.
And it's astonishing how many people don't understand that your odds of selling and having a profit quadruple when it's someone you know, someone you've sold, someone that was referred, rather than a stranger coming in clutching an ad in their hand. But hey, this lack of knowledge is what propels us all to be successful, because it just means they need us.
Right.
Chris, I also reached out to you through LinkedIn. I'd love to have you as a connection. I'd love to talk to you more too.
Great. Let me real quick just finish this up. Gary, I think one of the things that we can be excited about is that I think the lenders are getting bigger partners. So I think there's going to be a push for more contracts, specifically with the one I am connected with. They were just bought out by 118 billion company. So that's going to definitely open up their growth. Our growth has been 40% over last year, and I look for probably another 25 to 30% increase of our business.
Very good. Cool.
That's what I'm seeing.
Awesome. I feel it. Yeah, I think that 2026, the industry is going to rebound pretty nice. And the ones that have been paying attention and working hard are going to thrive. And then the ones that are still waiting, they may be bought up by some of those groups. So hitch your horse to the right wagons.
Well, if they can't figure out a way to make money in this economy, and they're not willing to make any changes, and they want to do something like they started doing 40 years ago and never change, they might as well sell out.
Yeah.
Let's end it on that note, because that was brilliant.
Yeah.
Chris, we'd like to have you back down in the future. You're a gentleman. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, gentlemen. Y'all have a great
Can't
week.
wait for part 2.
Merry Christmas.
Great spending time with you on Friday. It's a great way to end a week. Familiar face. I look forward to sometime getting down to visit you in nice warm Texas.
It's not warm right now.
Yeah, because we just entered into the misery zone for the next 90 days in New England.
Gary, it was 12 this morning. 12.
Frozen tundra. That's why I'm a native Texan.
All right,
Merry
everybody.
Christmas, guys, and happy holidays.
Stay
Happy
healthy.
holidays. Good seeing you all.
Always
Wonderful.
say, "Bio con Dios." You know what that means? Go with God.
I'm keeping it live for this.
Go with God. Bio con Dios.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Say
Have a good
hello to your
weekend,
wife
everybody.
for me, please.
I'll do it. Thank you.
Bye-bye.